What's going on, everyone? Welcome to issue 0, as I'm calling it, of the mancomic300 solo podcast. So today's little opening episode, if you will be to break down what the podcast will be about, the things that will be discussed throughout the podcast, throughout different episodes, and the future of just the mancomic300 channel. So getting into the podcast stuff first. The purpose of it is to discuss everything related to the comic book industry through video games, TV, movies, but more importantly, comic books will be the focus, and more times than not will be the main topic of discussion throughout the podcast and things like that. Also do hope to get other guests on, so it's not just me every episode, but to have a guest to bounce on and off of, so we can have discussions, maybe have some debates about some books or characters. Second to that, there's going to be a few different shows. It won't just be the main podcast. It will be different shows that will be focused on different things. One of these shows is going to be called Tales Gone By. Now, Tales Gone By is just going to be its own separate show discussing classics and just older books from different decades. So from different writers and artists of those times and things like that. And pretty much one episode will be centered on a decade, or maybe just a season or two will be dedicated on a decade. I think maybe the 70s might be the first decade. We go through where Tales Gone By, and then I'll let you guys know later on what writer and artist that we're going to be focused on in that episode. Then we have two other shows, Best of the Best and Worst of the Worst. So pretty much these two shows are going to be looking at the best books and comics and the worst books and comics. So pretty much I will be giving you guys my own thoughts and takes and tell you guys like, hey, is this book the best of the best, or is this book the worst of the worst? And that's pretty much going to be the few shows, the three other shows. I do have ideas for more stuff when it comes to the podcast and other things that will be talked about further on. Now, the next thing is going to be video remasters. Now, I started this channel 6 years ago, freshman year of high school actually, or the summer before my freshman year of high school. Back when I was just getting into learning how to use different things. Back then I was just using like my school iPad and iMovie really to edit videos. And I was going for a comics explain kind of approach, having the comic book be shown page by page, panel by panel, and giving you guys summarizing what's going on within the book. But with the new remasters I plan on taking a more sub-review approach to these books, and also giving you a slight breakdown on the writers and artists responsible for the book, a little history and what went through during the time's release, and probably the culture, or essentially where the industry was at around the time of the book's release. So Marvel Zombies right now currently has a script that I'm going through, and that will be the first remaster. Then after that, I will be going through any other like side videos I had that were kind of, in a sense, a standalone. So like videos like when I was covering a lot of Dark Knight's Metal, I will actually be going through that. But first, I will actually be either getting the omnibus in print, or I might just swing the Comixology and get it like that. And yeah. That's pretty much it. But before I do leave, just to give you guys what the first episode is going to be about, is going to be about digital comics versus physical comics. And pretty much, since it is going to be a solo podcast, I will be giving you guys pretty much how I see the two forms of reading comic books, my preferred method, and other things like that, and what other people out here are saying. Might go through some message boards and things like that, just to see, how big a topic of discussion this is. But until then, guys, this has been mancomic300, and can't wait for the future of this all.